H-Town, what it do? My name is Nick Stevenson, the self-appointed president of Houston Sports.
I'm Scara K, and I am a baby bull. And you are listening, watching Texans Bloodline.
Absolutely. As a baby bull, Scara, I believe you're going through all of the feels in our first two Houston Texans games.
There's been some feels.
After a disappointing week one loss, we came in optimistic for Monday Night Football, nationally televised game at home. And there was a lot of really good observations you made in week one. And I'm sure there was a lot of things you were looking for in week two. Got your notes there in classic teacher style. All right. So the Texans lose 20-19 in a very, very disappointing loss. What do you feel like, based on your observations as a newbie, as a new baby bull, what do you feel went wrong in this game?
Oh, went wrong? I mean,
maybe that's too long a list. Would you like what went right?
Well, my first question for you is,
Sure.
as a new baby bull, is it too late to switch teams?
I would say that's not how Houston Texans fans roll. We are ride or die. But there's a lot of wishy-washies in the social medias today, and it happens frequently. 2 weeks ago, we were going to the Super Bowl. Now 2 weeks later, fire everybody, cut everybody. It's the thing you're going to learn. The season of football, I think we did talk about this. You only got 17 games, so every game is so important. It's not like baseball where you lose a baseball game, you're like, who cares? There's 161 more.
2 more just in this series.
Yeah. So basketball, the same thing. 82 games. Hockey, 82 games. These games are important, and coming out 0-2, I will say this: the Texans started 0-2 2 years ago. They ended up winning 10 games, making the playoffs, winning their playoff game. So it's not time to completely panic. But I will say 2 years ago, and when they lost the second game of the season, the offense looked really good. And it looked like there was some hope that, hey, maybe there's a chance they get right.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start at the end? Do you want to start at the beginning?
Let's start at the beginning because honestly, when this game started, the first drive of the game, I'm like, we're scoring 40 points tonight. What was your thoughts on the first drive?
Yeah, I was like, well, already? Excellent. Actually, actually, my first note was, man, that cameraman moved. He stumbled into the sidelines, and there's a camera right there. I was like, oh, dang.
I'm sure those guys get paid very well. There's got to be some hazard pay involved.
Well, and the camera's worth quite a few,
yes,
bucks.
For sure.
But okay, so my first game note had to do with the fall, and I forgot to write down who fell, but a Tampa player pushed our player, and he fell. And from my soccer perspective, it didn't look like that rough of a push. Personally, maybe it was. I don't know, but we were taught. Do it. We were taught to fall. We were taught to someone taps you and you
exactly.
dramatically fall and get that.
I think you're talking about the offensive pass interference on Mike Evans when he
sounds about right.
When he pushed Derek Stingley Jr. Yeah, I think he sold it a little bit, which, to be fair, if he didn't sell it, it was the right call. It should have been called. But if he didn't sell it, they might have missed it. So I think he did the right thing.
And that was my question. Are they trained to do that as well? Or, they just kind of...
Yeah, I don't know if they're trained to do it as much as in soccer, because I've being around soccer, I know that that's actually a strategy part of the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a strategic thing. Not as you see it a lot in the NBA now, unfortunately. But no, there's definitely some moments that, listen, you're on the field. There's, I think, 4 referees, so they're not going to be able to see everything. So if something happens and you want to get their attention, then it makes sense to kind of flail about a little bit. So,
and most hits are pretty rough, so it's
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There was honestly some that got missed. I thought we hit a guy in the head, not intentionally, on one of the tackles, and they didn't call it. But it's like I said, they can't catch everything. But I just offensively, like I said, after that first drive, they ran the ball well. They were completing passes. A beautiful touchdown catch by Nico Collins. Which is, we said last week, where was Nico Collins? Well, he showed up in the first drive of the
He
game.
was yep, and one of my notes, offense is winning today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, we're gonna score 40. It's gonna be amazing.
I
I
was
was doing the watch party for Wheelhouse. I'm like, this place is gonna be so lit all night.
it
And
was a fun game.
yeah, and then in the second drive, they score, kick a field goal. Cool. I was doing Toros earlier, and I want to ask because last week we agreed the defense was pretty good. What
Mhm.
did you think about the defense this game?
They held their own, but there were no standout anything for the defense this game. Like, I don't even have a player of the week for defense 'cause
Yeah,
I mean,
they got some
maybe
sacks. They got some sacks.
yeah,
But,
maybe that means they worked well together as a team,
yeah.
but
Um,
not as
This is
strong.
what this is how I would describe what I saw from the defense. The Texans defense is physical and they can make some flashy plays. They got 4 sacks or 3. I think they sacked Baker Mayfield 4 times. The one time they really needed to get him in the fourth quarter, they missed. But um the way I described it today, I didn't let the defense off the hook because I feel like it was a death by a thousand cuts.
Mm.
I was looking at the statistics. This is never going to go well for you in a football game. The Texans ran 46 plays. The Buccaneers ran 72.
Whew,
So they just
a
possessed the
few
ball.
more.
Yeah, they possessed the ball longer. That means your defense is playing more plays. They're getting more tired. So in the fourth quarter, when they got to make a stop so that they can win the game, if they've been on the field twice as long as the other team's defense, odds are maybe they're going to do what we saw happen. Lots of missed tackles. And
So why aren't we pulling people off the bench that are fresh?
because I'm telling you right now, most NFL teams, you're going to try to put defense doesn't get a lot of rest because defense, you're going to put your best players out there. Most like if you're really good cornerbacks, they're not coming off the field. You're good, like your pass rushers, you'll rotate your defensive line because they're working super hard. I mean, they're literally in a wrestling match every play with the offensive line. So you'll get some rotation out of there. I think you saw Will Anderson come out for a few plays. Um, but it's when the game's on the line, you want your best guys out there. And especially in that last drive, you'll notice obviously Tampa Bay had to move very quickly because they were running out of time. So there's no time for substitutions because they're throwing the
Yeah,
ball and they're setting
yeah.
up, and so you can't really do a whole lot of subs. So you just kind of got to go with what you've got out there. But to me, I mean the rushing when a team is running the ball well, this is pretty important. That means they're keeping the ball, they're running clock, especially if you have a lead. You want to run the ball because every
Mhm.
time you throw a pass and it's incomplete, the clock stops. So as long as you're running, the clock's gonna keep on moving. So when you
Okay.
have a lead, you wanna run and run as much as you can, try to get complete passes, keep that clock running, um, and the more you possess the ball, the more the defense is on the field, and they're just gonna get tired, and I
Why didn't Texas try to run that clock a little more? Like, they only had
that's
30
a good
seconds.
that's a good question. So, I'm so glad you observed that. So, when they were down in the fourth quarter, the Nick Chubb touchdown, which was the best run by the Texans of the game, when he scored that touchdown, a lot of people criticized him for not falling instead of scoring the touchdown, running some more clock, and then either scoring a touchdown with less time on the clock or kicking a field goal, which
Mm. So strategy. But
I, for me, if you have a chance to get the big points, go get the big points,
yeah, get the big points.
especially when your offense hasn't been good. Go get the touchdown. The Texans have spent so much money on their defense. They spent so much draft capital on their defense. They're supposed to be a defensive team.
Mhm.
They built this team so that if you get a lead in the fourth quarter, you can trust your defense with 2 minutes to go to get a stop, or with 30
You
seconds
mean 30 seconds?
to get a stop and not
Fumble
lose
it.
the game. And that's why I can't absolve the defense because like I said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rushed for 169 yards. The Texans rushed for 84.
Mm.
Um, they were just they looked their offense. I said this last week about the Rams. Like they didn't blow the scoreboard up. They just looked like a professional offensive football team. And the Texans, unfortunately, did not. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some question marks with some people about CJ Stroud.
Oh, good.
What
And
was your observation of the way he played?
so, um, I thought he was doing pretty well until I don't think I wrote down when the shift happened this time like I did last time, but he kept overthrowing, he kept, like, not throwing fast enough,
Right?
and there was a moment in my brain when I'm like, "Why not just try another quarterback if he's doing this again, 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 again?" Like, I get you're not supposed to pull him, like, I get it, but he's not being effective, so how is that helpful?
Yeah. And I understand the sentiment. Um, I think CJ Stroud is still better than whatever they have on the bench. Now, if he keeps playing the way he is, and these games keep going the way they are going, we may get a chance to see somebody else. Here's the thing: CJ Stroud is pretty mobile. You notice he has to run around a lot because the offensive line is terrible. And listen,
Yeah, I was a little annoyed at them.
we've been using that as an excuse for CJ Stroud, but he's not the first quarterback in NFL history to have a bad offensive line. Some quarterbacks have to just make up for it by their decision making, get rid of the ball faster, um, hit the open guy when he's open, which CJ Stroud struggled with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so no, your question is very valid, and I don't think it's quite that time yet. But if this keeps up, more people are going to be asking that question.
But yeah, and remember
Is it
we
time to get a
talked
look at
about
someone else?
yeah, and we talked about how when you get someone that may not have some playtime otherwise, they might surprise you, because that drive, like, "Oh, this is my moment, let me
For
prove
sure.
myself." Um,
Tom
it
Brady
just
was a backup quarterback.
oh, interesting. And I even know
Just
that name.
yeah, Tom Brady, probably the greatest quarterback of all time right now. He was a backup to Drew
Right.
Bledsoe.
But that's what
Drew
I mean,
Bledsoe now
like
now Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and that was how he got his opportunity. Drew
okay.
Bledsoe ended up breaking his leg, so
Oh, that's you can't
yeah,
run on that.
right. So, um, and that's how Tom Brady got his opportunity, but I don't think it's quite that time, but CJ Stroud just has to play better. I know he's
He
got better
starts
in him.
strong.
Yeah, right now it feels like everything has to be going perfect for him to play well, though. And
Mm,
in life in the NFL, things will not always be perfect.
right.
When things break down, um, and as you start to watch more ball and get to know more ball, you'll notice like a quarterback's job, there's people running at him full speed trying to take his head off. He can't hold on to the ball too long. Now, yes, the the offensive line has to block and give him some time, but there was a few times that he had plenty of time and he just
And he didn't let go of the ball.
something's happening. Either the receivers aren't getting open or he's too scared to throw the ball because he doesn't want to make a mistake.
Mm.
Um, something's
You
just off.
know you
Something's
know
just off. Yeah.
who would make great quarterbacks
Who's that?
if they could throw? Teachers, because we have to make quick, lots of decisions. We have to see all the stuff going around, make the best decision, and we
Mhm.
make 20 million of them in a moment, uh,
Absolutely.
and keep things running and smooth.
Absolutely. And
But
look, being a teacher is a hard job, and being an NFL quarterback is a hard job. Trust me, I'm not
I
sitting
did
here
a
criticizing him because I think I could do it.
I did a tally mark, basically a counter of how many decisions I made in a class period,
Oh, wow.
um, and in a day once. It was over 100, it was like 130 decisions in 45 minutes.
Mm. All right. So listen, D'Amico, if CJ, Davis Mills, and Graham Mertz all go down, we got your quarterback right here. Scara.
I'm ready.
You're
You know,
ready.
hey, I surprise the boys when we go out and play football in
Right?
our free
Okay.
time. I can
That's what's
throw
up.
that ball. Now, can I throw it the way they can? Absolutely not. But
That's
I can
what's up.
impress middle school boys.
That's what's up.
Uh,
Listen,
well, I was gonna comment, go back on that offense we were talking about. Like I need them. if they want my support, I need them to quit with the face masks. They're losing us so much, like, yardage
Yeah, the illegal
because of something that, like, you just leave the mask alone. Like, it's not something that's accidental.
yeah, yeah. The penalties were better, but still a lot of lack of discipline.
Yeah.
And um, I'll be honest with you, I had to rewatch this morning because we were at Tom's Watch Bar, and so a lot of the time I was trying to interact with the crowd and stuff like that. But I did notice that the penalties were still a problem. There was none. I will say they were more disciplined in the critical time, like that last touchdown drive. They were very disciplined, and it was very similar to they had a very good drive going in the Rams game before Wale fumbled.
Just yeah. I actually
It's
wrote
just
at one point what did I say? Oh, at this rate, Florida is gonna get a touchdown just based on penalties.
yeah, yeah, and
I
it's
don't know if that's possible, but, like, I'm like, "Just
well,
keep
no,
moving,"
I mean, the penalty yardage, let me take a look. I'm glad you brought that up. I know dead
because it was like,
spaces.
"Grab a face mask, here's 5 more yards. Grab a face mask, here's 10." I'm like, "We're close," or "They're close."
I'm gonna pull up the number right here. Another very great observation by Scara K, who is sounding less and less like a newbie every day.
I I
Let's
was I was kinda feeling that way when I was watching the game. I'm like, I think I get a lot of it. There's some
yeah,
really silly questions I have.
of course.
I know they're silly, but as a whole, I feel like I'm doing much better.
Let's see. Texans, I mean, 6 penalties, 45 yards. Compared to last week, that's better, but yeah, you wanna
45
try to
yards is a lot to give up,
yeah, yeah, for sure, and especially it's always about when does it happen. Um,
and they were giving it up when they were close-ish to the end zone.
yeah, for sure. That I'm glad you brought closest to the end zone because the Houston Texans got on the 2-yard line in the 4th
Oh my
quarter.
gosh. Yeah,
It re
so Florida can make a touchdown in one go, and Texans had 20 chances to get the 1 yard.
yeah,
All he had to do was
it
like,
look
I had a strategy. I'm sorry. I'm, like, taking
no,
over, but
go, go,
I
go,
had
go,
a
go.
I had a really fun strategy. Okay, so what if the, um, the offensive line make,
Mhm.
like, a boost, and then the quarterback just run up, and they, like, push him up, and he just flies over.
That's called the tush push.
Like, that's a thing?
Actually, that's a thing.
Oh, I thought it was
It's
brilliant.
no, 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 no. I mean, so usually they do it. I mean, I would have taken the tush push. Here's the problem: to do the tush push, they call it the Philadelphia Eagles created that nickname because their quarterback and they've almost mastered this play. It's almost more like a rugby play. Basically, everybody huddles up at the line, really close together, and they do just that. They fall forward, and somebody gets behind the quarterback and pushes his butt. They call it
And all
the
you have to do I mean, by the time you fall down, you're in.
right. Here's the problem though. Your offensive line has to be capable of moving the defensive line. And I think after that first run with Chubb and he got stonewalled in the backfield, I think they decided, hey, we're not going to try that again, which I don't necessarily agree with. If I'm on the 2-yard line, and this is the test, Scara, of a good football team. If you are on the 2-yard line with 4 chances and you can't get in, you're probably not a good football team, and not offensively. And that's sad because
Not right then.
yeah, right. I mean, because look, the at the end of the game, the Buccaneers had the exact same scenario, and the Texans needed to make one stop, and they couldn't do it because they handed their running back the ball, and he was able to score from the 1 or 2 yard line, however
And he just went,
close
like,
they were.
right through, like,
Yeah,
it's like
and
they
and
made it split the Red Sea for him.
I want to make excuses for the defense, but I can't because, like I said, for them all day it was a death by 1,000 cuts. It's not like yes, they didn't allow a lot of touchdowns. Um, I mean, it ended up being 3, but I think the second touchdown happened like in the second quarter, so they shut
Mhm.
Tampa Bay down. Even though Tampa Bay had the ball most of the game, they shut them down from scoring. The special teams was great. That was the only exciting thing about the football game. You had the block punt, a really good return by Jalen Knoll, who why is Jalen Knoll not playing on offense?
I was gonna say, like, dude, I wrote
Go
something
ahead.
about him,
Yeah.
like, he was cool.
Every time he touches the ball, he does something special. And right now, Christian Kirk is hurt. Um, Nico Collins is not being very productive. get these young guys in the game and at least see what they can do.
I like
You know,
Nico Collins today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Look,
Only he had a strong start and then I don't know, I just love that little body hop into the end zone like that was gonna help, and then the way he smiled, it was adorable. I just thought
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
so
No,
cute.
Nico's good people, and the ladies love him. He might be your booty of the week. I don't know.
He
Uh,
was a contender.
okay, okay. So look, I think it's just man. I'm glad you're getting all of these emotions out of the way early. How invested did you feel in the game versus last week?
Much more invested. Last
Okay.
week last week, I was disappointed that I began supporting a team that was playing dirty, 'cause
Okay.
I didn't like that feeling, like, "Come on,
And
guys."
see, yeah, I don't. Are you talking about on defense or on offense?
I think
'Cause
defense, it's all the face mask. I can't
illegal
get
use
over
of
the
the
face
hand.
mask. Like, just
Yeah.
you don't grab that. It's not an accident, you know? It's not that one, hand to the
Yeah,
face
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was an accident, you
Um,
know?
yeah, the illegal hands to the face. Uh,
Yeah, and last week there was one that was like, "Oh, come on, where was he supposed to put that?" You
I
know,
I
or
don't know that anybody's grabbing face mask on purpose, because if they are, that's just stupid. You're gonna get yourself kicked off the field
go
because
look at all 3 today.
it's a penalty every time. No, no, no. I think it's just lack of discipline, like, not paying attention. Like, dude,
Oh,
you know
it's not a conscious choice, but it shouldn't be in there as something that's an option,
100%, like, pay
right?
attention, do your job, like,
You
no,
don't touch the
100%.
ball in soccer, you don't grab the
Yeah,
face mask.
of course, and also, there's some people who may try to see, "Hey, maybe I can sneak this in," but no, man, if you're purposely grabbing a face mask, though, that's just stupid. Because not only are you gonna get penalized 15 yards every time you do it, but eventually your coach is gonna be like, "Get off the field, like, you're hurting us, you're hurting the team."
Well, and it
No.
was a good, like, 2, 3-second grab. It's not like, "Oh, I grabbed it, let me let go," because that was not what I was supposed to do. I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
it felt really dirty last week is what it felt.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
understand. And like I said, I don't know for a fact that they're trying to be. I think just they've been undisciplined for 2 games. But no, let me let you continue.
but
But
to
that
answer your
versus this week.
question,
Yeah.
this week I was just I had a much more positive, like, "Oh, it was fun to root for them. It
Yeah.
was a fun game back and forth. I was able to get mad at Florida." Um, and,
Yeah.
and I felt some things in 30 seconds.
Good. I wanna talk about your guy, Henry To'oTo'o.
He didn't do much. What's going on with him?
He missed the biggest tackle of the game. It's 4th and 10.
Okay.
I believe it's 4th and 10. If the Texans stop them, game over, and they put good pressure on him. Henry To'oTo'o has him in clear sight, and I'm gonna give Baker Mayfield credit. He's very shifty.
Hmm.
But if Henry To'oTo'o makes that tackle, makes that sack, trips him, something, game over. Instead, Baker Mayfield gets loose. He runs for about 15 yards, and we all know what happened at the end. So, as much everybody's pointing the fingers at the offense today, and rightfully so. The offense was not great.
But that was right after I even wrote Stroud is losing it in the 4th and 8th,
Yeah,
4th quarter.
his body language wasn't good. He missed some throws.
Mhm.
Um, no, we can't listen, the offensive line is not good, but we cannot absolve CJ Stroud. The last 2 seasons, we were kinda giving him the benefit of the doubt. "Oh, your offensive line is it's bad." And it's bad this year, trust me. The Texans are gonna have the worst offensive line in the league for the 2nd year in a row if this keeps up. Um,
I thought they did well last week.
last week?
Relatively well?
Mm.
I don't maybe I'm
I
misremembering.
honestly I don't think they've been good. There's too much
Okay.
pressure. There's too much pressure on CJ Stroud, and that's like I said, some of that is on him. He's gotta get rid of the ball quicker. But, I mean, he's been running for his
Oh,
life. He
sorry,
got
you're
sacked.
saying offense.
Yeah, the
That
offensive line.
I was thinking defense.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. No,
correct, correct, correct.
the defensive line has been really good, especially statistically, but they did not stop the run
Yeah,
yesterday. You
and
gotta
yeah,
stop the
okay, and
run.
then yeah, and for offense, yeah, they kept letting guys get to Stroud, and, like,
Mhm.
that's what you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, I think he got sacked another 3 or 4 times
Yeah, it
in
was
this
a
game.
lot,
Let me look. I think I have it.
and
He was sacked 4 times. They
wow,
sacked, or
and
no,
then
I'm
one
sorry, he
time
was sacked 3 times.
and the one time he almost did, and he actually looked out for himself because they weren't there again,
Yeah.
so
And he almost threw a really bad interception too, so he didn't play good. Honestly, like, other than special teams, I don't think there was,
I thought he
and there
started strong.
yeah,
I thought he started okay.
no, 100%. This is what
Seems
I've
to
this is what I'm sorry. This is what I think. I don't know if you know this, but the first 15 or so plays on offense that a team will do, they script that ahead of time.
Mm,
Like they plan and they practice all week. Like these are the plays we're going to run our first 15 plays. And I think Nick Caley, who is their new offensive coordinator, I think he had a really good game plan, good scripted game plan for the first two drives. We saw a really awesome touchdown. They got into field goal range and made a field goal. So after you do all your scripted plays, now you got to do what you were saying,
you gotta
make decisions.
you gotta look at your little cheat sheet. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And
And you
and
got to
okay,
strategize. Okay, what is
l
going to work in this situation? And that's
right, but look, I have a problem with this cheat sheet. They
okay.
get
What is
paid
it?
how much, and they don't know what their cheat sheet says, and actors have to, like, memorize that whole 3-hour play.
That's true. That's
And here they
true.
are with their little, like, what do I want
That's
off the
true.
menu today?"
And sometimes I'm like, can you use smaller font so that we can't read it?
It was I do feel like if I had paused and I was on a larger screen, like
Now, every team does use different terminology, but honestly, a lot of these coaches, they've coached together. I mean, it's not that much different. Somebody could figure it out. I don't know if you
mhm,
know this, but the Patriots a few years ago actually got in trouble because they were filming the other sideline
I
to
remember
try to
this.
steal their signs and maybe even zoom in on that cheat sheet. That's why you'll see a lot of coaches, they keep it blank and they'll cover their mouth
I saw
while
that,
they're
yeah.
talking
But
so
he was
that
covered
people aren't
dude
reading
dude
their
was
lips.
he was covering his mouth with the cheat sheet like, with the information.
Right.
Like, "Here, camera."
Very, very true. That's a great observation on your part. But I think after that scripted part of the game, they did not do a good job of drawing up a good game plan. And credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who start off 2-0 for the second year in a row. But I can't make too many excuses for Nick Caley because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a rookie play caller on their end too. Now their offense wasn't tearing it up, you know,
Mm,
but when they needed to in the fourth
they were
quarter,
better.
the most important time of the game, they were better. And the Texans have been outplayed in the fourth quarter twice in a row. So there's definitely room for improvement. You know me, I'm not gonna
It wasn't even the
start
qu 4th
panicking.
quarter. It wasn't even the 4th quarter, it was the 30 seconds at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And really, it was like the 9 seconds at the end of the game if we really wanna get real about it,
No,
but
for sure, for sure. That yeah, it was tough. It was tough. And when you're in a bar and you're trying to hype up the crowd, like it's a lot easier when the Texans are winning and they're playing well. It was rough. It's already a Monday night. Everybody's tired. They probably went to work that day. They got to work the next day. So it was tough to get the crowd like really, really into it. The more they started drinking, the more they were
well,
drinking, the looser they got. But so by the time we got to the fourth quarter and the Texans took the lead, and
it was probably fun for 5 minutes.
are you superstitious at all? Like, do you have any superstitions?
I mean, I always wonder, and I do. I knock on wood all the time. They're
Uh-huh.
like, we use language if we ask about, like, "How are the kids?" I'll be like, "No comment."
Yeah.
And that means to just stop asking because things are fine.
Yeah. So this is the way I operate my sports superstition. Every year I alternate. I either will have I'm not going to be superstitious this year or I'm going to be. And for the Texans this season, this is my superstitious year.
Okay.
I want to tell you something that happened. The Texans go up by scoring that touchdown. I believe at that point it was 19-14. They go up and the DJ, shout out to him. His name was DJ Nonstop. Very cool guy. He helped us out with the event last night. With less than a minute to go on the clock, he's talking to me and he goes, "It looks like the Texans got this." I was like,
You don't say that. See, no, I'm with you on that. You don't say those things because
"Absolutely not."
there is still time on the clock. Like,
Yeah. You're a baseball fan. If your pitcher's throwing a no-hitter, what do you not do?
yeah. Say that they've got a no-hitting game.
Yeah. You don't mention it. The players
And
themselves don't even if you know this, when a pitcher's got a no-hitter going, his teammates don't even talk to him. He's sitting on the far end of the bench. Everybody else is over here because they know the superstition. And what really makes me mad is when television commentators, not the opposing team, obviously the opposing team's going to say no hitter all day. But when the home team commentator brings up the no hitter, I'm like, bro, you come on.
You know how this works. Stop doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I, cool enough. This has nothing to do with the Texans, but I actually witnessed a no hitter in my lifetime. Last year with the Astros, I witnessed Ronel Blanco's no hitter, which was I was in tears, bro. It was one of the coolest things that ever happened to me.
Oh,
And
I did with the go ahead, I want you to finish
no, go
you
ahead.
finish first. Well, I was just gonna say I did with the Oakland A's, like,
You saw a
years
no hitter
ago.
too? I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
there and I
what rare,
didn't understand the significance because we were there to pre-party and,
of course.
hang out. Uh, so, it was a whole
No,
culture actually for the A's, the
yeah,
pre-party game.
it's
Or
it's pretty rare to witness a no hitter in person. So I've seen him on TV a couple of times, but to be there and I'm telling there's people in there saying, "Hey," I think my dad was like, "Hey, he's got a no hitter going." I'm like, "Pop, he was lucky.
Aw.
It was not my superstitious year that year." So
So it
I
didn't
gave
oh, so it didn't count.
right.
How
I
nice.
gave him a break because that was my non-superstitious year. But this year is my superstitious year. So yeah, as soon as he said that, I'm like, bro, we're about to lose.
Yeah.
I'm saying that to myself. I'm like, he had
Okay.
to say it.
So
This
I just
Go ahead.
think that the head coaches need to take a just I don't know, maybe this baby bull has a good idea. Maybe when Stroud starts to lose it, we try something new. And I don't know.
I'll tell you
Maybe
this.
yeah, go ahead.
Davis Mills was a starting quarterback before CJ Stroud got here. And in his rookie season, played very well. He looked good in the preseason. You could be onto something. Like you very well might be. I, I hate to say it because CJ Stroud, he's number 2 pick. You know, he's been Houston's golden boy. I'm gonna give him a little bit more time, but I'm not mad at you for the suggestion. You're not
Yeah,
the only one. I'll say
but
that
golden boys lose their shine. Like
for
at
sure.
some point. And really I don't know. I guess I don't understand the idea of we're watching him lose it. We're watching him overthrow, miss these, not throw fast. We're watching him do it consistently. Why are we not trying something else? Even if it's for one play, just see how it goes.
Yeah. I'll
I
tell
don't
you
know.
what scares me about it though is Davis Mills cannot move around as well as
Mm,
CJ can,
he's a
and
little
to put
older.
it's not that he's just a little less athletic. I mean, he's an athlete, but CJ
I know
Stroud
what you
can move,
mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
he can move around a little bit better, and it kinda scares me to put him behind that offensive line when
Yeah. When they can't seem to
he
get their
can't
shit
duck and dodge.
stuff together.
Yeah. So, but maybe he can get the ball out faster. Maybe he's more accurate with his passes. Maybe I I understand the sentiment, and trust me, people are starting to ask that question because CJ Stroud had a fantastic rookie year, one of the best in NFL history, if not the best in NFL history. Since then, unfortunately, the arrow has kind of been on the decline. It's been going down, and I think he's got the potential. I feel like the bad offensive line, he doesn't trust them, and I think
I
that
mean, that's
affects,
fair.
yeah, I think that affects his decision making too. So what the head coaches definitely need to do is figure out whatever it is, right?
Now, okay, so I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are we and really just both sides are doing this, and I saw it last game too. They they hand the ball off and then they just run straight into the breach. Like right into where all the players are and there's all this space over here and all this space over here. Why are we not letting them like grab the ball and run this way?
So I think one thing you've been to a game before, correct?
Yeah.
I think when we're watching on TV, sometimes we underestimate how fast people are moving. Sometimes a hole looks like it's open, and you'll notice it
Okay.
closes up really fast. But also, they're running into the breach because they're expecting their defensive line to be moving forward. And so I'm going to follow you. But unfortunately, what's happening is those dudes are getting pushed back into them.
But it
And
happens too often. I don't know. It just feels like and like I said, it's both sides. They're just like everyone goes this way and he goes right there.
yeah, yeah. And it's yeah, trying to find a seam that ends up not being there. I don't disagree with you. If your offensive line is playing better, there's bigger holes and there's more space. And
Yeah,
that's basically the key to it. Like your offensive line needs to move those other guys out of the way so you
right.
can run. If
That's
they're
fair.
not, and you don't want to give up on the run even when it's not working because if a team knows, oh, all these guys are going to do is pass, then they're just going to pin their ears back and pressure and blitz the whole time and send extra guys and it's tough, it's tough.
Well, I'm not saying don't run, it just
Yeah,
where you
do
run, it
better,
seems yeah.
run better.
Run more.
For
That'd be
sure.
great.
All right. You said this week your booty of the week might not be a Texan.
Yeah, so I was like, "Okay, look, that just doesn't seem right." So I will do a booty of the week for each team.
Okay. Okay.
And I do want to note, you will be proud of me. I didn't even start to think about booties until the 3rd 1st and 10
'Cause you were thinking about ball.
because I
I
was
like
watching the game. And I was like, "Wait a minute, I gotta find a booty."
that. Good job. I like it.
Um, so okay, so Collins did end up, on my top of the list, so Collins got a nice booty, and,
He's been hitting the squats for sure.
and then, for Florida, number 7, Irving he had a
Okay.
nice little
Yeah,
tushy.
the running backs, they gotta have the strong legs and a strong
Well,
backside.
the irony is when I started looking for booties, I kept seeing, Anderson Jr., which was my booty of the pick last week, and I'm like, "I need to pick a different booty." So,
Awesome.
technically, Collins got 2nd place.
I like you yeah, I like you,
Spread the
spreading the
love.
wealth though. Spread the love. I like that.
Oh, I liked those helmets. Did you see the helmets? They said "Choose love" on.
Yes.
I thought that
Yes.
was nice.
That is the NFL started that campaign of positive messaging a few years ago. There's choose love, end racism. Uh, there's a few different
I like
tags that
it,
they allow them to put on their helmets, and I think they're on the back of the end zone still.
which leads me to another question I had.
Yes, ma'am.
So why when we have these large tackle things or whatever, or 3 players bring down 1 player, whatever,
Mhm.
why are the opposite team members not helping them up? Like,
Why
why
are
not?
so why don't Texans help
Yeah,
Buccaneers up
just
and
as a,
vice versa?
like, little, like, "Hey, yeah, I knocked you down, like, here, just get back up. We're all playing the same game."
I think it happens sometimes. Um,
It just seems like something so
a lot of
little.
times, like, if you tackle a guy and it's a good play, the defensive player is gonna get up and start celebrating rather than pick the guy up. I think it's I don't know, I think it's just, like, one of the heat of the battle things. I'll tell you, like, sometimes in basketball, um, a guy who gets knocked down, he won't even let a guy opposite of his team pick him up. Sometimes, like, he'll wait for his team to pick him
'Cause
up.
he's mad.
Yeah, because I
Like,
mean, it's they're trying to, I guess, keep that edge of like, "Hey, this is my opponent." You will notice though, most of the time after the game, everybody shakes hands. Everyone, a lot
yeah,
of them grew up together playing football in college, or maybe some of them even played high school or youth ball together. So
and I did notice a couple moments where they, like, watched to make sure that they were okay,
yeah, yeah.
but
And
I don't know, it
obviously,
just seems like
if somebody gets hurt, you'll notice, and hopefully that doesn't happen often, but it does happen. If somebody gets seriously injured, I mean, everybody's taking a knee. Sometimes there'll be a prayer group while that person's down.
Yeah, I saw,
Yeah,
Mayfield got a little hurt, and then he got mad, and I was like,
yeah,
"Why are we getting mad when, like, that wasn't even the worst tackle, like,
yeah,
of the
yeah.
of
No,
that 5 seconds."
Mayfield's he's a competitor, and he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder too.
Is he the
So
one that made, like, poor career decisions earlier, or he had some sort of scandal going on? Like, there was something I feel like he was in the news for years ago.
I think you're thinking of Johnny Manziel. That's what
Oh,
it's
maybe so.
Johnny Football. No, so Baker Mayfield was the number one pick in the NFL draft, and nobody expected that. Like everybody thought he was good because he was good when he was at Oklahoma. But the Cleveland Browns, who you'll notice are a notoriously terrible team, they always make bad decisions. They haven't had a good quarterback since like the 70s. Um, they took him number one overall, and then he wasn't a number
No.
one overall quarterback. So he bounced around to a few different teams, signed with the Buccaneers. He was supposed to be like competing for the job, a backup maybe. And all of a sudden, like he just got a resurgence and he's back. He's been to the playoffs, won a couple of playoff games. So he's
You
kind of a
think?
redemption story, but he still has
Got it.
that chip on his shoulder. You'll notice with the way he
Okay.
plays, he's he's feisty. He's out there, he's talking trash to the other team. He's not the tallest guy. I think he's maybe 6'1", which
Okay.
I mean, among them, like 6'1" among us, that's a giant. But
Ah.
out there, he's a little guy, right?
Okay, yeah, because he did seem like he was a good player, and that made me disappointed in him.
Yeah. No, he's a good player, and he's actually from Texas, to be honest with you. Like, I
I
think
think maybe that's why we heard I heard a little bit more about him.
yeah, yeah, he's got he played high school football. There's a lot of NFL quarterbacks who played high school football in Texas. Matthew Stafford, the guy who we played last week, he's a Texas
Okay.
quarterback.
Oh, can we
Um,
talk about, we haven't talked about Townsend because I liked his
okay.
punts.
Yes. Great. I'll go ahead because special teams to me was the only good thing about the game, pretty much.
Okay, so he is special teams. I meant to look it up, I just
Yeah.
didn't do
So
it.
special teams is punting, field goals, and kick return. That's all special teams.
Okay, 'cause, he ended up being my player of the week, um,
Okay.
but I did want to understand, so he in the 3rd quarter, it was the end of Texas' turn, so I didn't write down what the other numbers were.
Sure.
But he just punted, and then it went out of bounds, but that was good? I was trying to
Yes.
understand that.
So when you kick off, you don't want the ball to go out of bounds.
Correct.
But when you kick a punt, if it goes out of bounds, then that's where wherever it goes out of bounds at is
Oh,
where the team has to take the ball. So if
got
you
it.
can try to pin them between the 10 and your end zone, then that's really good because that means they have more field to go to get to theirs. So the further back you can pin them, so when he boots one and it goes out of bounds
It
at the 1 yard line, then that's
Yeah,
good.
and it went, like, across the entire field, it seems like.
Oh yeah, he's got a leg. What did they call him? Tommy. He's got some nickname about how his I can't remember what it is. I'll have to
Okay.
look it up again. But yeah, no, he's got a boomer, and that's one of the reasons that he used to play for the Chiefs. And they got rid of they had a pretty decent punter as well, but they wanted him. And it's when your punter's the player of the game, that's that kind of lets you know
There's your
how
sign.
things went. Yeah, that lets you know how things went, and I think that's a perfect way to sum up what happened in this game. But once again, Scara, I think you made excellent observations, and I know that you watched most of the game early this morning, so I appreciate your dedication to being a Houston Texans fan. I wish they would have given you a win. Let me put the silver lining on this before we get out of here. Like I said, 2 years ago, you started out 0-2 as well. Ironically, who was your get right game with? The Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. The Texans have not lost in Jacksonville in 7 seasons.
Are you are
Go ahead.
you well, knock on wood, right? Because it's
Yes, this is
superstitious
my
here.
superstitious year. I'm trying. Thank you. I'm just trying to find some optimism.
Fair.
Optimism. They have not lost there in 7 seasons. So if there is a place that they should be able to get right, you hope it is in week 3 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, which that's another game that features very interesting players on the other side. Trevor Lawrence is another number 1 overall pick. He was supposed to be the next coming of the great quarterbacks. He
Mhm.
has not lived up to that, but a lot of people still believes he has that potential. I will say this, the Jaguars can score the football. So
Mm.
the Texans are going to have to score the football. I said last week, please give me 24 points. You almost got there. If you'd have given me 24 this week, you would have won.
Wow.
So I look forward to number one, watching a game that comes on at a normal time. It should be Sunday at noon. I believe this is our first noon game of the season. Um, it's funny. My wife sent me this meme, or it wasn't a meme. It was a TikTok video. It was a lady and her husband's watching football, and you can hear the familiar CBS football music and the commentating in the background. And it said, "I'm so glad my favorite nap music is back this season." Because inevitably, when me and my wife watch the game, she'll be super excited. But I don't know, it's something about this. I think that white noise of the crowd, even me, like sometimes if the game's not interesting, I'll kind of start
Muted.
dozing off a little bit. Something about Sunday, just being lazy, watching football. And that's why I record the game because if I do fall asleep, I'm like, okay, let me rewind that.
Well, you know what I don't hate is being able to fast forward through all the commercials and the
Yes,
in-betweens.
yes. I'm gonna make a recommendation either now or in the future. NFL Plus, if you do subscribe to that, you can watch a condensed version of the game. You can watch the whole game in 20 minutes.
Well, and that's basically what I did this morning. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, "Why did this game take 30 minutes?"
Yeah, but you don't even have to fast forward. Like it's great. Like it does all
Okay.
the little stuff in between the plays. It cuts all that out. It's just play, play, play. You can watch the whole game
Excellent.
in like 10, 15 minutes. It's awesome. And that's my plug for NFL Plus. They're not a sponsor of this show, but if they
But they
want to
should
be,
be.
absolutely. All right. So Scara, once again, great job. I'm looking so forward to hearing your analysis of the Texans versus Jaguars, because already in two episodes from the very first one to this now our third one, like you're starting to know ball. I like it. And
Thank you.
you know what you're probably realizing? It's not as complicated as some people try to make it out to be. Now,
I don't know.
I
There's still
mean,
some rules I gotta get cleared
of
up.
course, but like watching the game and analyzing that, obviously, like we don't know all the intricacies of the routes they're running, and I'm sure there's very complicated things happening in that locker room on the field. But as far as being a fan, the football game, we can sit here and criticize and tell people what they should be doing, but at the end of the day, like we're just a bunch of schlubs that
Yeah.
love watching football.
We can't run like they can.
Of course, and I don't pretend that I could. I just listen, I love the city of Houston, I love my Texans, and I just wanna be proud. You see, I didn't even wear their hat today. I
I'm
didn't
in
even
mourning.
I didn't put the chain on either. I didn't put any of the bling on. I'm like, "Ugh." But yeah, but no, not all hope is lost, man. Hopefully they get right versus Jacksonville. And when that happens, I'm putting that into the
Mhm.
universe and knocking on wood at the same time. When that happens, I look so forward to doing this show with you guys again. Once again, I want to thank all of you guys for watching the show. Please subscribe to Wheelhouse. Save Texan Bloodline to your favorites on your playlist. You can find me at Houston Sports State of the Union podcast for my other content on YouTube, X, on Instagram. I even have a Facebook page because I'm old. And then you can find Scara K at Scara K on Facebook and Bad Teacher Tales on Instagram. Remind everybody what Bad Teacher Tales is again so they can find your other content.
It is a podcast where we tell the stories that teachers want to tell but can't. So we tell them anonymously and comment on them and stuff like that. And then, it also gives other people a glimpse into the classroom and the things that teachers educate. I should say educators, because there's some stories from non teachers as well. But so education, get a
So my
glimpse.
my daughter's a para. She's trying to become a
Oh,
teacher.
gosh.
And
I
I
bet she
put
has
her
stories.
I put her onto your podcast and I said, "You're really gonna enjoy this." And so hopefully she starts listening to it and then maybe could be a guest on your show at some point. But you guys go check that out. Wheelhouse Media. We're trying to do all things content, not just sports, but we know why you're here. You love your Houston Texans, and we love the Houston Texans. Hopefully, like Scara, it's in your bloodline. You got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No,
All right.
I think
I hope
that's
we get
good.
you a win next week.
I hope
in the
so too.
in the meantime, you guys take 10 toes down for H. We love you. Good night.